The next morning came too quickly. Tiara barely slept. Her mind replayed every moment from the night before. Jay's guarded eyes, his unexpected vulnerability, the cold hallways filled with secrets, and the steel door hiding something powerful enough to decide her fate. She woke up with her heart in her throat. This wasn't just a marriage of convenience. This was a life-or-death arrangement, entangling her in a world where even a breath had consequences. Jay's words stayed with her. I don't know why I care. But I do. She touched her chest lightly, feeling the quiet thrum beneath her fingertips. She shouldn't care back. She shouldn't feel anything. But her heart didn't operate under rules. Mina knocked softly. Tiara? Breakfast is ready. Tiara dressed in the simple white dress Mina laid out for her. It wasn't extravagant, but it made her feel presentable. Like she wasn't a stranger in her own skin. As they walked down the long hall, Mina lowered her voice. You must be careful today, she whispered. Tiara frowned. Why? Chief Jang is in a mood. Something happened last night with one of his men. They said someone betrayed the family. Tiara froze mid-step. Betrayed? What does that mean? Mina sighed. You don't want to know. But Tiara did want to know. Because betrayal in this house didn't end with a scolding. It ended with blood. When Tiara entered the dining room, Jay was already there. He looked different this morning. Less composed. More tense. Dark circles shadowed the edges of his eyes as if he too barely slept. He noticed her the moment she stepped in. Tiara tried not to stare, but Jay's presence filled the room like gravity. She sat across from him. Good morning, she said quietly. Jay hesitated. Then, surprisingly, he said, morning. It was simple. Ordinary. Yet it warmed her unexpectedly. Before they could speak further, heavy footsteps echoed. Chief Jang entered. The atmosphere dropped several degrees. He sat at the head of the table, his eyes scanning both of them. The silence that followed was suffocating. Jay clenched his jaw. Tiara straightened her back. Chief Jang took a slow sip of tea before speaking. Tiara. Her stomach tightened. Yes, sir? You should understand that last night's tour was for your safety. This house is not a place for curiosity. Tiara nodded. I understand. Good. His eyes pierced hers. Do not wander. Do not ask too many questions. And do not forget why you are here. Tiara swallowed hard. I won't. Jay glared at his father. Is this necessary? Chief Jang ignored him. After breakfast, Jay will prepare for tonight's meeting with our allies. He has responsibilities. Tiara looked at Jay. Will you be gone all day? Jay's eyes flicked to hers. There was something in them she couldn't decipher. Yes, he said softly. I won't be here. She felt a sting she didn't expect. Chief Jang continued. Tiara, while he is gone, you will remain in your room or in Mina's company. You are not yet part of this family. You have no place in our business. Tiara's voice stayed calm, but her pride burned. I have no intention of interfering in anything. Chief Jang gave her a cold smile. Good. Let's hope it stays that way. Jay threw his napkin down. Father, enough. Chief Jang's eyes sharpened. If you raise your voice at me again, you'll regret it. Jay stood abruptly. Then excuse me, he said, his voice tight with fury. I've lost my appetite. He walked out without looking back. Tiara's heart squeezed painfully. Chief Jang chuckled. I've never seen him act that way around anyone. You must be special. Tiara felt heat rise to her cheeks. I'm not. Oh, but you are, Chief Jang said with a smirk. My son only breaks his composure when something threatens him. Or when something matters to him. Tiara froze. She looked at the door Jay disappeared through, her pulse racing. Was she a threat? Or did she matter? What? Later that afternoon, Tiara sat alone by her window, watching as black cars drove in and out of the estate. Jay hadn't returned. Every hour tightened the ache inside her chest. She shouldn't feel this. He wasn't hers. They weren't even married. He was a mafia heir trained not to love, not to care, not to trust. But the thought of him walking into danger twisted her stomach. A soft knock pulled her from her thoughts. Mina entered with a small smile. Someone wants to see you. Tiara blinked. Who? Mina hesitated. A woman. Tiara frowned. A woman? Yes, Mina said quietly. Someone from Jay's past. Tiara stood slowly, dread curling through her chest. His past. Mina nodded. She claims to know him well. Tiara's heart thudded painfully. Who was she? Why did she come? And what did she want with Jay? The sitting room was silent when Tiara entered. Standing by the large window was a beautiful woman, slim, poised, elegant. She wore a fitted black dress and red lipstick that made her look powerful, intimidating. She turned when Tiara stepped in. Her eyes were cold, calculating. "You must be Tiara," she said, her voice smooth. Tiara's pulse quickened. "Yes. Who are you?" The woman smiled, a smile with no warmth at all. "I'm Hannah," she said. Jay's name hovered between them unspoken. "And I," she added, walking closer, "am the woman Jay was supposed to marry." Tiara felt her entire world lurch violently. Her breath caught. Hannah's eyes glittered with cruel satisfaction. "Did he not tell you?" Tiara's chest tightened painfully, but she held her ground. "No," she whispered. "He didn't." Hannah stepped even closer, lowering her voice. "Jay and I were together for years. And trust me, he doesn't let go of people easily." Tiara clenched her fists, fighting the trembling inside her. But Hannah wasn't finished. She leaned closer, her whisper sharp as a blade. "And I promise you, he isn't done with me." Tiara's heart shattered. Pain struck like lightning. But her voice came out steady. "We'll see." Hannah smirked. "We will." Tiara walked out of the room with her chest burning, her mind spiraling, her heart cracking in ways she didn't expect. She wasn't supposed to love him. She wasn't supposed to feel anything. But the hurt clawing at her chest told her the truth. Jay mattered. Too much. And Hannah's presence was a storm Tiara wasn't ready for. Tiara's feet felt heavy as she walked back toward her room. Every step sent a pulse of ache through her chest, a dull throb she couldn't slow down. Hannah's words repeated in her mind like poison. "Jay and I were together for years. He doesn't let go of people easily. He isn't done with me." Tiara wanted to reject it, to believe Jay wasn't hiding something, but doubt gnawed at her. Why hadn't he mentioned Hannah? Why had he avoided saying anything about his past? Her hands trembled as she closed her bedroom door behind her. Mina immediately noticed. What happened? Tiara didn't trust her voice, so she sat on the bed quietly. Mina walked closer, worried, and lowered her voice. "Tiara," she whispered, "you're shaking. Tell me what happened." Tiara looked up, her eyes glossy. "A woman named Hannah." Before she could finish, Mina's expression hardened. "Oh, you know her?" Tiara asked, voice tight. Mina sat beside her. "Everyone in this house knows Hannah." A cold chill swept over Tiara. What was she to Jay? Mina hesitated, not in confusion but in conflict. Finally she sighed. She was his past. Tiara swallowed painfully. His past? Or someone he still cares about? Mina looked into her eyes, then spoke carefully. Whatever Jay felt toward Hannah, it ended. "How do you know?" "Because Hannah hurt him." Mina's voice lowered, almost to a whisper. "More than you can imagine." Tiara blinked, stunned. "Hurt him?" she echoed. Mina nodded. "She betrayed Jay. And the family." There was talk of her selling confidential information to a rival group. Jay denied it at the time. He defended her. He was even willing to fight his father over her. Tiara's breath caught. Mina continued, but eventually, evidence came out. Hannah fled. She disappeared from Jay's life for over a year. Many thought she died. Tiara's heart pounded. So why is she back now? Mina's eyes darkened. Because she never comes without a reason. And none of her reasons are good. Tiara looked away, her emotions swirling. So Jay didn't tell me because, what? He didn't trust me? Or he still? Mina grabbed her hand quickly. Tiara, listen. Jay has never trusted anyone easily. But you? You are the first person he has allowed close since Hannah. Tiara froze. Mina squeezed her hand. And that terrifies him. A knock sounded. Tiara straightened, expecting a guard. But when the door opened, her breath stopped. It was Jay. His expression was unreadable, his eyes heavy as if the day had worn him down more than usual. His black shirt was partly unbuttoned at the collar, and his hair looked slightly tousled, like he'd run his fingers through it too many times. Mina bowed and slipped out discreetly, leaving them alone. Jay stepped inside slowly. Then he met her eyes and Tiara felt a mixture of longing and hurt surging between them. "You look upset," he said softly. Tiara turned away. "I'm fine." "Tiara," Jay whispered, "look at me." She didn't. Then she felt his hand gently touch her arm. Not forceful. Not commanding. Just gentle. Her resistance cracked. She looked up. Jay's brows furrowed when he saw the pain in her eyes. "What happened?" Tiara inhaled shakily. "A woman came here today." Jay froze. His jaw tightened. "Hannah?" he muttered. Not a question, a confirmation. Tiara stared at him. "Why didn't you tell me about her?" Jay didn't speak. The silence said enough. Tiara stepped back, hurt spilling through her voice. "She said you two were together for years, that you weren't done with her." Jay's eyes flashed with anger, not at Tiara, but at the situation. "She shouldn't have said that," he growled. "But she did," Tiara whispered. "And I believed her." Jay finally moved closer, his presence overwhelming but not suffocating. His voice dropped low. "Tiara, Hannah is the past. A past I'm not proud of. A past I don't want you tangled in." Tiara blinked quickly. "Why?" Jay exhaled, the tension in him cracking. "Because you're not like her. And I don't want you hurt because of the things I've done. Or the people I've trusted." Her heartbeat quickened. Jay looked away for a moment, struggling to find the right words. "She betrayed my family," he said quietly. "Betrayed me. And I defended her, until the truth tore apart everything I believed." Tiara felt the pain in his voice like a physical thing. "Why did she come back?" she asked. Jay's expression darkened. "Because trouble is coming. Bigger than you know." Tiara's pulse raced. "Trouble?" Jay stepped closer again, his voice a whisper. "Tiara, this house is about to become a war zone. And the only thing I can think about is keeping you safe." Her breath trembled. She expected him to step back, to hide whatever emotion surfaced. But instead, Jay reached out and gently took her hand. His touch was warm, conflicted, protective. "Tiara," he whispered, "Hannah is not a threat to us. But the people she works for are. And if anything happened to you because of my past." He stopped, anger and fear blending in his eyes. "I wouldn't forgive myself." Tiara's chest tightened painfully. "Jay," she breathed. His hand tightened around hers slightly. "You're not just some debt payment," he said. "You're more." Her heart fluttered and trembled all at once. Jay stepped even closer, close enough that his breath brushed her cheek, close enough that she could feel the war inside him. "I shouldn't feel this," he whispered. "Not with everything falling apart." Tiara felt her pulse thundering. "Feel what?" Jay looked at her, really looked, and something raw and unguarded slipped into his eyes. "I'm starting to care," he murmured. "Too much." Her breath caught. Time froze. Silence wrapped around them like a fragile ribbon. Then, a loud explosion shook the house. The floor trembled. The lights flickered. Jay's head snapped toward the door, his entire body tensing. "Stay behind me," he ordered, voice suddenly hard and deadly. "Jay, what's happening?" Tiara cried. He reached for her wrist, pulling her close to his side. His eyes were no longer soft. They were sharp, lethal. "We're under attack," Jay said. Her breath stopped. "And they're here for you." The explosion echoed through the mansion like a monstrous roar, shaking the walls and rattling Tiara's bones. A cloud of dust drifted down from the ceiling as screams echoed from the hallway. Jay pulled Tiara against him instantly, shielding her with his body as another blast rocked the west side of the estate. "Stay close," he growled, voice rough and low. Before Tiara could respond, gunfire erupted outside, sharp, rapid shots cutting through the night. Her heart raced so violently she could barely breathe. "Jay, what's happening?" she choked out, gripping his shirt. His jaw tightened, and he moved her behind him again. "An ambush. They're already inside the perimeter." Tiara's blood ran cold. This was because of Hannah? Because of Jay? Because of her? The door burst open. A guard stumbled in, blood trickling from his forehead. "Sir, East Wing breached. They're looking for." His eyes darted to Tiara. Jay's entire body stiffened. Tiara felt it, the shift in him. From protective to deadly. "Get her out," Jay ordered. "Take her through the underpass. Now." But the guard barely took a step before a bullet pierced his chest. Tiara screamed as he collapsed at her feet. Jay reacted instantly, pulling her into his arms and spinning them behind the bed, using the heavy frame as cover. "Tiara, look at me," he said urgently. She couldn't. Tears blurred her vision, her breath coming in shattered gasps. "Tiara," he repeated, grabbing her face gently, forcing her eyes to meet his. "You're safe with me. Do you understand?" She nodded, barely. He brushed his thumb under her eye, the briefest moment of tenderness, then turned toward the door, eyes blazing. Heavy footsteps echoed down the hall. They were coming. Jay stood tall, his silhouette framed by the flickering lights. Then he pulled a gun from the back of his waistband. Tiara's breath caught. She'd never seen him look like this, cold, focused, terrifying. "Don't move," he whispered. The first intruder kicked in the already splintering door. Jay fired once. The man fell instantly. More footsteps. More shadows. More danger. They really were here for her. Another explosion shook the hallway, sending smoke flooding into the room. Jay grabbed Tiara's hand. Move. He pulled her through a hidden door behind the bookcase, a narrow corridor lit only by emergency lights. The air smelled like smoke and gunpowder. Jay, who are they? She whispered, stumbling as he guided her quickly. Rival syndicate, he muttered. But they're not here by chance. Someone told them exactly where to hit. He didn't say the name out loud, but Tiara knew who he meant. Hannah, Tiara whispered. Jay stopped mid-step, turned sharply, and cupped her face with unexpected gentleness. Listen to me, he said, voice low. You are not responsible for what my past brings. I will handle Hannah. I will handle everything. Your only job is to stay alive. Why do they want me? She asked, voice trembling. Because you're my wife, Jay said simply. Hurting you means destroying me. Tiara's knees almost buckled. He didn't push her to move. He didn't even look impatient. He held her for an extra heartbeat, just long enough to steady her, then tugged her gently forward again. Gunshots echoed behind them, closer now. Jay reached a metal latch at the end of the corridor and kicked it open. A steep set of stairs descended into an underground passageway. Tiara hesitated at the darkness. Jay squeezed her hand. I've got you. She followed. The sound of footsteps chased them. Halfway down, Jay spun around and fired into the shadows. A man stumbled, tumbling down the stairs. Tiara's scream stuck in her throat. Go, Jay urged. They reached the base of the stairs, entering a tunnel lit by faint blue lights. The distant hum of generators filled the space. Tiara looked at Jay. Where are we going? To the safe house, he answered. But we have to move fast. A voice echoed from behind them. Well, you're running again, Jay. Tiara froze. She recognized that voice. Hannah emerged from the shadows, flanked by two armed men. Her face was calm, almost amused. Thought you could hide her? Hannah asked, eyes sliding to Tiara with a cruel smile. She's even prettier up close. Jay moved in front of Tiara instantly. Hannah, he growled, step aside. You don't want this fight. Hannah laughed softly. I think I do. You betrayed us, Jay said. His voice wasn't angry, it was cold. Final. You sold intel. You tried to take down my father. And I'm not done, she said simply. Your father destroyed my family. I'm just returning the favor. Her eyes cut to Tiara. And she's part of the payment. Tiara's stomach twisted in fear. Jay raised his gun. Touch her, he said, and I'll end this myself. Hannah clicked her tongue. Still dramatic, Jay. But tell me something. She stepped forward, smiling. Does she know why your father really wanted you to marry her? Tiara stiffened. Jay's breathing changed, barely but enough. What is she talking about? Tiara whispered. Jay shook his head. Don't listen to her. But Hannah continued anyway, her voice sweet like poison. Your father didn't choose her at random. He didn't choose her because of pity or desperation. Her smile widened. He chose her because her father wasn't just a driver. He was a witness. Jay flinched. Tiara's heart pounded painfully. A witness, to what? Hannah licked her lips, enjoying every second. The night Jay's father murdered a politician, she said. Your father saw everything. And the only way to ensure his silence, her gaze turned razor sharp, was to make his daughter part of the family. Tiara felt like the ground disappeared beneath her feet. No, she whispered. That can't. Tiara, Jay said urgently, stepping closer to her. It's not how she's making it sound. But Hannah only laughed. Cruel. Victorious. Oh, it's exactly how it sounds. Jay's grip on Tiara's hand tightened. Run. Tiara, run. She stumbled backward as Jay fired the first shot and chaos erupted. Tiara sprinted down the tunnel, heart tearing apart, Hannah's words haunting every step. Jay's shouts. Gunfire. Explosions of sound. She didn't dare look back. She ran for her life. But she could feel it, this was only the beginning. Tiara didn't know where she was going, she only knew she had to move. Her lungs burned as she sprinted down the endless tunnel, the cold air slicing her throat with every desperate breath. The faint blue lights flickered overhead, throwing her shadow in long, trembling shapes along the walls. Behind her, gunshots exploded like thunder. Jay shouting. Hannah laughing. Footsteps pounding. Tiara's heart felt like it would burst from her chest. Her thoughts raced faster than her feet. Her father was a witness? Her marriage was a cover-up? Was everything a lie? Tears blurred her vision, but she kept running, stumbling forward into the darkness. The tunnel forked ahead left or right, but she had no idea which way led to safety. Tiara. Jay's voice echoed faintly behind her. Keep going. Don't stop. She almost collapsed in relief at the sound of his voice. Almost. Because another voice followed behind it, smooth and poisonous. Sweet girl, Hannah called mockingly, you can't outrun the truth. Tiara turned left and ran harder. The ground shook beneath her, another explosion from behind, dust falling from the ceiling like snow. Her chest heaved painfully, panic clawing at her throat. At the end of the tunnel was a metal door. She pushed it with all her strength. It didn't budge. No, no, please, she cried, slamming her palm against it. She pushed harder. Nothing. Her breath hitched. Her knees wobbled. She wasn't strong enough. Then, an arm reached over her shoulder. A hand slammed the door latch with force. The heavy door swung open. Tiara gasped and stumbled backwards, right into Jay's chest. He grabbed her firmly, pulling her close. His chest rose and fell rapidly, sweat dripping down his jawline, hair disheveled, eyes blazing with fury and fear. Don't ever run alone, he said, voice rough. Not from them. Not from me. Tiara wanted to push him away, to scream at him for the secrets, the lies. But in that moment, all she felt was relief so deep it cracked her open. Jay, she choked out, is it true? What she said. Jay's expression tightened, but he didn't answer. Not here. Not now. Jay grabbed her hand. Move. They sprinted through the door into a narrow underground garage. A single black SUV waited with the engine running. One of Jay's most trusted guards slumped dead beside it. Tiara's breath caught. The blood on the concrete looked fresh. Jay quickly scanned the area, then guided her to the passenger side. Get in. Tiara hesitated. Jay, what if she was right? What? Tiara, he snapped, voice firm but trembling, this isn't the time. She couldn't hold it in anymore. You knew. You knew something about my father and you never told me. Jay's jaw clenched. He opened the passenger door, but Tiara stepped back instead of getting in. Tell me the truth, she whispered. Did your father force this marriage because of something mine saw? Jay's eyes softened painfully. Yes, but it's not what you think. Her chest cracked open. She felt sick. Dizzy. How is it not what I think? She whispered. But Jay didn't get to answer. Because the garage door suddenly exploded inward. The SUV shook violently, sparks flying. Dust filled the air as silhouettes moved through the smoke. Hannah's voice echoed. You can't hide her, Jay. Jay cursed under his breath, grabbed Tiara's arm and shoved her into the car. Jay. Stay down. He slammed the door behind her and fired at the intruders, covering her as he circled around to the driver's side. Bullets rattled against the metal. Glass cracked. The concrete floor vibrated with heavy boots as men poured in. Jay slid into the driver's seat, blood dripping from a fresh cut on his arm. He slammed the pedal down and jerked the steering wheel hard. The SUV roared forward, smashing through the smoke. More bullets. More shouting. They burst out of the garage into the open night air. Cold wind whipped through the broken window, stinging Tiara's cheeks. Her entire body trembled as she clutched her seatbelt. Jay swerved down the dirt path behind the mansion, the vehicle bouncing violently. Jay, where are we going? She cried. Away from here, he said through gritted teeth. Far away. Tiara looked back at the burning estate, flames licking the night sky, smoke curling upward like a monster rising. Everything she feared was happening. Everything she didn't know was unraveling. And Jay, the man she was starting to trust, to feel something dangerous for, was driving her into the night with secrets still hanging between them. Her voice broke. Jay, does my father know the truth? Jay didn't answer. His silence hurt more than any bullet. Before she could speak again, headlights appeared behind them. Hannah's black cars. Chasing them. Jay muttered a curse, slamming the gas pedal harder. Hold on, Tiara, he said, eyes sharp with determination. She gripped the seat until her knuckles went white. Because I'm not losing you, Jay whispered. The chase exploded into the dark road. And ahead or behind, the truth waited like a storm ready to tear them apart.
Thank you for watching. Episode 2 ends here. Find out more about their story in episode 3 coming up soon. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to leave us a comment. Also like, share and subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell to get notified when a new story comes up. Don't forget to tell us where you are watching from.